What up, Spear? Can you see the broadcast? Alright, so what I'm doing now is just building the platform. Can you make that echo stop in the background, Spear, whatever that is? I could hear myself and it's weirding me out. Alright, so boom, I got these two pieces lined up. I just went into advanced options to make sure that they're exactly perfect. Boom, set it. So while I got you in here, I'm going to show you this as well. So you know how on some of our jobs we have like the crazy triggers like up on a sign or, you know, just in weird spots. They show like the cars where you're picking your car, that screen. Alright, so well, it's really easy, and I'm just going to do it while I'm in here just to get it out of the way, but you could set your trigger anywhere, you know, there's an open space, roof, as you can see, I could set it here, parking lot, but anytime you go to set it somewhere cool, like, say you wanted to set it at the top of this tower, you know, to have that smoke going through the car and all that, I know there's a little bit of a delay. But if you see, I'm at the top of this tower, boom, I can't set it, you know, it's red, no matter where I move it, it's not going to turn white. So if you just go in the props real quick, take a block or anything, stun track, whatever, set it over it, go to advanced options, position, get a closer look. And what you want to do is you get it covering this piece, so right now it's covered, then you hold square for the fine adjust. Go down, boom, you see it right there, go 1, 2, 3 clicks, set it, go back to trigger, look at it from straight up and down, just hover over it. When you get it lined up perfectly, it should let you set it there. It's not doing it. Oh boy, bad example. Oh, there it is. So I actually had to do it on the edge for whatever reason, but boom. So set trigger, then you go back to props, delete this big block, boom. Now you have an awesome trigger placement on this pipe. You're going to have a car sitting on this pipe with smoke going through it. It's going to be sick. Anyway, back to the reason for being here. Bank turn. Alright, so you're building a NASCAR track. We're going to build this like a Martinsville turn. Alright, let's go ahead and make these the same color now that they are even. Alright, I like to start with a black platform. Makes everything else stand out better. What kind of turn do you want to do? You want to do a rubber turn? You want to do an asphalt turn? What? Alright. So for asphalt, you're going to want to go to racetrack, stun track wide straight, prop stacking on. Alright. So you want to picture this piece as being the very apex of your turn, the middle of your turn. So what we're going to do, we're going to get it kind of to the edge of this platform. This will be like the edge of the track. Okay, advanced options, position. We're going to sink it all the way down. And you could hold triangle and the right joystick to sink it down super fast. Alright, so we're going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to go to rotation. Let's make this a 9-degree turn. Alright, so it started at 360, so obviously we're going to have to go to 351 to make it 9 degrees. Alright, so there's the 9-degree bank. Now, you want to sink it down a little bit further to hide that bottom rumble strip. So you zoom in. So as I sink it down, you see the rumble strip disappearing. Boom, perfect. So we have a white line here, kind of, you know, separates the track from the infield. Rumble strip is gone. So now you kind of just zoom out. Okay, it's off center. So if this is going to be our racetrack, this platform piece, obviously that's not the middle. So we're going to scoot it over. Wrong one. Alright, so that's just about center. And again, typically, you know, I'm just doing this kind of fast. Typically, I would actually count the squares and, you know, get it exactly in the middle. I would not just, you know, kind of eyeball it like that. Alright, so looks good. What we're going to do is set it. Yeah, sorry. Alright, so that's the first step here to creating a template to make a bank turn. So the second part of this is setting the swing piece. So the swing piece, basically, the way I was taught is the way I'm going to teach you. You go to containers, go to small red container. The reason being, this one, it's nice and small, it stands out against the black. So this piece is very important. This is going to be the piece, it's called the pendulum piece. So this point, basically picture, you know, a line attached from that banked piece to this one, and you're gonna do a swinging arm. So it's gonna create this loop, a half loop, from wherever this piece is. So this piece actually creates the radius of the turn. So if I was to set it right here and connect it to that track piece and do a swing left and right, it's going to be a very small radius type turn, like super tight turn. And the more you come out, the wider the turn gets. So if you have it, like if you want it to go from all the way from edge to edge, basically you're going to want this piece about right here. Alright, and again, I wouldn't eyeball it. This is just a, you know, teaching moment. Alright, so that's that's basically our template. So at this point, you go to templates. You always want to select your pendulum prop first. Select. Then look. So you go to grab this piece, but it's not letting you. It says this prop cannot be added, it's too far away. So what you do is you just click on one of these for now. Then it allows you to click this piece. And then, see over here, this is the one we had to click because it was too far away. So you just hover over it and delete it. Okay, now we have our two props selected. Save template. GGG R2. Alright, so now you actually have this piece. Let me zoom out so you can see it. So here's your template piece. So as you can see, that is how you make a bank turn. So now, and it's almost perfect too for eyeballing it. So I wanted it to kind of go edge to edge. You know, there's a little bit of room to spare on each side. Perfect. Alright, so what you're going to do at this point is you could delete this old template. Delete track piece. So at this point, very important to line up the platform piece. If you look at the top of the screen, you'll see the platform piece is almost perfectly lined up with how my TV is. That way you know everything is square. So when I swing this piece, you know it's going to be square in the middle. So what I'm actually going to do is back up a little bit. Alright. So as you can see, boom, perfect, boom, perfect. It could actually maybe even go a little bit this way. Alright, so that's pretty even. So once you're at this point, and you're ready to start swinging this piece, you want to hover over it like I am now, perfectly squared. At this point, you don't want to move your controller, the left joystick. You only want to use L1 to move it this way, and R1 to move it this way. You don't want to touch anything else. And the reason for that, when you start moving the left joystick, it moves the pendulum piece. So when it moves that piece, you could never go back and fix it. You have to delete everything and start all over. So once you're at this point, you got to remember, take your thumb off the left joystick. So you start on either side. I go from right to left. Some people go left to right. Don't really matter. So you set. Then you got to press square. And it deletes the red container piece underneath the prop. Boom. And then you go L1, L1, L1. And see how it moved it and created that stripe? Press X, square, L1, L1, L1. X, square, L1, L1, L1. X, square, L1, L1, L1. And the whole point when you're doing this is to see how those gray and black lines are fairly even. That's the key. So when they start getting out of whack, like if I was to set this piece right here, and you could clearly see that big black line is a lot bigger than the other ones, there's going to be a huge bump right there. So you want to make sure they are all uniform and even. I'm just going to do this fast now for the sake of getting it done. But again, I would never build a track this fast. This is for teaching purposes only. You know, there's also ways to do this to where you don't have lines in the track. It's just one solid surface, which is awesome. And to do this with... Yeah, not really. It's just knowing how to do it, again. It's just getting creative with the template, basically. In this way, so the swinging arm technique can be done with the rubber pylons, as you know. There's multiple surfaces you could build with that it doesn't have to be an asphalt turn. Whatever you could sink down and create a template out of, you know, this is how people make spirals, wall rides. It's all done just like this. You know, as you could see, this bank turn, you know, if I wasn't explaining it and just doing my thing, took less than 10 minutes. I could have matching bank turns, and then it's just a matter of throwing in straightaways, transitions, and walls. But that's a video for another time. The whole concept here was to just give you, you know, the basic idea on how to do it. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Whenever you test, you want to test it in the hot ring or something that's going to be bouncy. So you know, okay, it's bouncy here. Start over. So I could already tell you it's going to be bouncy and not like my usual tracks just by how wide those lines are. Typically, I'd never go that wide. But let's give it a go. Actually not bad at all. One little bounce there. So another good way to do this is to kind of drive like next to facing the side of the car in the wheel well and watch the wheels. Are they bouncing? Are they just staying still? So there's, I mean, there's a little bit of up and down here, but nothing crazy. So yeah, man, that's basically how to fucking do it. At this point, you know, if I was actually building this track, I would fucking extend this platform, obviously, build another, the same exact turn. You could use the same template down on this end, and then you just snap in, you know, straightaway pieces and walls, and that's basically it. I mean, you could even do something like this and just build like a little circle track. This would just be eyeballed, but But if I had not exited out of there and just stayed in the same spot, I mean, you can make a perfect circle. But you see how many props it takes to do this. Like, it took, what, 30-something props to do that first turn, so... Yeah. So I'm gonna just start expanding this a little bit, just for the sake of showing you. Alright, so as you can see, now you can see that ass end going up and down, up and down. That's where I started getting sloppy with it. And then over here, smooth. Nothing. Then over here where it's sloppy, see the ass end digging in, digging in, digging in, cars wanting to turn. So that's why when you're doing that swinging arm, you just don't want to touch the controller. Use L1, R1, and that's basically it. But yeah, man, that's the bank turn and the trigger tips and tricks for today. I'm going to stop this broadcast. Transition, alright, I can show you that. We'll take... Transitions are the most difficult part of this. So, let's go ahead and... Oops. Delete some of this bullshit. It's hard to tell where the nice... Oh, there it is. Oh, shit. I deleted the platform. Alright. So... I'm just going to use this side over here because I accidentally deleted this platform. And I just really don't want to add it back right now. Alright, so basically, I mean, so this is 9 degrees. So say you're going down to a 3 degree straightaway. So what you kind of want to picture is, picture a wall being right here, going straight down. So you're actually, when you get to the transition part, you're going to delete like maybe 2, 3, or 4 of the pieces off the end of the turn, so it kind of looks like that. We had it coming out to about here, would be flush 90. So what you do is you go, this is where stunt plane runways come in. Which stunt plane runway could also be used as a template turn piece. Alright, so you're gonna... Yep, if you want wider turns. It actually creates a cool color too, because it has like tire marks on it and stuff. But, so you're gonna snap that on to that last turn piece. So you go to prop snapping, boom. So it's on right there. So you're gonna go advanced options. Always advanced options. Never trust Rockstar. Ever. Ever. When you go to prop snapping and it snaps on, don't just press X to set it. Always go to advanced options, and I'm going to show you why. So, look at that. So if I had just hit X, do you see this line right here in the track where it snapped that Rockstar was telling me it was a perfect snap? Boom. That would have been a big-ass line, bump. That's the difference between other people and our mob. So, what you do is you come in here. First thing is we're going to bring it on down. So you want the outsides to match. So white line, rumble strip, rumble strip. Perfect. So now we're going to smush it in a little bit. So if I go that way, it takes it away. Go this way, it smushes it in. So you want to smush it in. Then you go to height. Up, right there. So you see, as soon as I go one click and it covers up that crack, boom, that's right where you want it. set it and fucking forget it. So now you come over here, and you always test. After you set a main piece like this, transition, straightaway, always test. Never continue on without testing. So we're going to test it out. See what it looks like, because this is what it'll look like in a race. So you're coming up on it. Here's the piece we just snapped. You see it kind of fluttering a little bit, flashing. Can you see that? Yeah. What that is that piece is set so fucking perfectly, so well meshed together, the computer can't fucking comprehend how perfectly the piece is set. So it's morphing them both together. That's the difference between Cockstar and RMob. Okay, so now that piece is obviously perfect. Back to race creator options. So, if you're looking at this, you're like, well, wait a minute, that straightaway is running way out that way, or technically it should be running like this, right? So, let's just throw a temporary wall up for now, just so you have a better idea of what the fuck's going on here. So, panel. Alright, so, get it straight. Just set this kind of like that for now. So this is about where the outside wall will be. Okay, so we're just going to eyeball that for now. Bam. Okay, so where the runway goes doesn't matter. You only connected it to that turn piece for this little sliver of pizza right here. So see this little fucking triangle? That's called a tail transition. So right now, this is a 9-degree bank going into a 0-degree straightaway. So that's too much. You want to go every 3 degrees for a transition. So this line right here becomes very important because this is where the transition is going to be. So to go from 9 to 0, you're going to need 2 transitions. So you go to props, stun track. Oh, should have went the other way. Damn it. Track straight large. Alright. So this could get kind of tricky. So what you want to do, you got this piece, you're about to line it up. First thing you want to do is line it up with that triangle. Like so. So as you can see, that's perfectly lined up edge to edge with that gray piece. So you're going to come in here, you're going to go to advanced options, rotation. Second one down is going to be the one that gives you your banking. So that's the one you want here. So we're going from 9 to 0, like I said. So the first one's going to be 6. So bring it to 6. Okay. You're going to slide it over. When it's in rotation, you could still move it. So that's the good thing about that. So see, as I slide it over, it kind of disappears fucking perfectly. Alright. So you're going to hit circle. Go into position. Now you can move around your controller without the piece moving. So obviously, you know, you can't have the track just ending right there like that. So we could slide that in a little bit. Okay. And then, you know, I could set it like this and leave it, and that's better than 90% of the tracks out there. But I don't really like the way it looks when it cuts into the track like that. You want it to cut in a little bit, but not so much right there for me. So you're actually going to sink it down a little. So you come over here. I like to get this view of it. And this last value, Z, is going to be what moves the track up and down. So I want it to be roughly right there. Still cuts into the corner a little bit, which is what you want. Looks a little bit cleaner. So we're going to go ahead and set that. Bingo. Alright, now we got one more transition from 6 to 3. So this one's going to be at 3 degrees. So same thing. Line it up. Options. Rotation. Second value, 3 degrees. Slide it over. Okay, obviously it's not in a good place, so we're going to actually slide this one back a little bit. Sink it down. So what you want to do when doing the transitions is not bury the other one. So you can see if I set this one right here, I just lost my 6-degree transition. Just lost it, covered it. So you want to back it down a little bit, and you want them to be even. So you can see as I pick it up, it gets wider, the other one gets smaller. So you want them to match. Right there is perfect. It's good down here. Good over here. Always important to check this end, because this is where your wall will be, so you don't want it to end too short, end right here. As you can see, it's fine. Set it, forget it. So that's one transition, done. So this would be your straightaway, right here. I know it doesn't look like one, because there's not like asphalt here. But this would be your straightaway, going right into this turn with a perfect transition. It goes from 0 to 3 to 6 to 9. Now let's see how the hot ring goes over it. So nice and slow. Look at that. Nothing. No fucking bump. No nothing. Tires didn't move. And that's what you want. You want it to go over just like that. So let me just kind of get some speed going here. Damn, that's a nice transition. Oh fuck, no track. Forgot about that. Alright, so, you know, pretend you're coming off, you know, front stretch or back stretch, whatever it is, you're coming down. I mean, that's just beautiful. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. To do the transitions, you would do that all the way around. Obviously, it's going to be 4 transitions. But yeah, so if you did that, you know, all the way around over here, you'd do the same thing, delete like 5 or 6 pieces. You know, you'd want it to basically, you take a line, or you could even set a prop and run it straight across from this last turn piece right here. Run it straight across, and this is where you would want this turn to come back to. So as you could see, that would be, count the black lines, 1, 2, 3. So you delete 3 pieces, add on stunt plane runway, do your transitions, then do the same thing on the other end. And that's a NASCAR track. That's, you know, that's how you do it. Then you go around, you add in walls. Basically, you know, this piece right here, you'd make the straightaways, you'd just sink it down a lot more. And the turns, you'd use the little blocks. Can do a piece of that real quick. So, depending on the track, bigger tracks, you're going to want to use 1x5s. Small tracks, you could get away with smaller blocks. But the whole thing here is, you know, you always want props. You always got to have props. So 9-degree banking, you're going to want this banking to, this turn wall to at least be banked. I go 20 degrees more than that. So you go to advanced options, rotation, second value, and we're going to bump it on up. I went the other way, so we'll go to, hold on, I'm going to start over here. Alright, so start at 360, so go 290. So you just bring it up here, kind of play with it a little bit. Okay, looks good. Go to position. This first value is going to be the height on these blocks. You want, see those 3 little circles that run up and down? You could actually sink it to the bottom of the 3rd circle, like that. Even the top. the third circle, and that's perfect hot ring height. So the top of that wall would match the top of your hot ring. So boom, set it. And you go again. I like to change the color on wall pieces just because it helps when you're tying it in. You'll see what I mean in a second. Rotation, second value, 290, which we know because that's what the first one was. So you bring it up. See how it just kind of lines itself up. So the whole key is you want it to be uniform. So right there looks pretty good. Go into position, set it, sink it down. And you sink it down till, see how, like, over here it's, you know, you want it to meet right there. And you could get real picky with it. I mean, at that point, you could slide it over, you know, get the most out of it so you don't have any overhang. You know, it all comes with experience and time. Set it. Again. Whoops. Color. And it's just rinse and repeat, man. You'd go all the way around doing that. Straightaways, you'd use the bigger pieces, obviously, and that's it. Any other questions while I'm in here? So, yeah, I mean, obviously this will be on YouTube now, so you could go back and refer to it. Just let me know if anything else pops up, man. I'm gonna stop the broadcast though.